I'm just going to do a quick little video showing you what I've done for my pepper plants to try to salvage them or try to save them through the winter. In case you don't know, peppers are a perennial. They will last more than one season. In the past, I have brought them in the barn since I am in containers, and again, that's one great reason to garden in containers. I'm always asked that, why would I garden in containers when I got all this land? This is just one good reason to do that. But in the past, what I've done is just drag the whole thing in here, or actually, the best way to move an earth box is with a good two-wheel dolly. And what I've done in the past is just bring the peppers in and just pretty much left them alone. I mean, just like they were out in the garden is the way I kept them. I just kept them in pristine condition. Well, I've been watching a lot of videos about people that have done this successfully year after year. So what they said do is prune them back, I mean, severely. These peppers were 3 and 4 feet tall in some places, very bushed out, loaded with peppers. I mean, these were in their prime right now, and we've got a frost. The reason I'm doing this, we got a freeze coming. And I'll get back into that in just a second. But in the past, again, I've just left the plant whole. I didn't do any pruning or anything like that. But from what I understand now, after my research and videos and stuff like that, you want to try to force them into dormancy. And to do that, they really need to be radically pruned. Again, these are some of them a third of what they were out in the garden. Some of them I probably need to take back a little shorter, a little more. A lot of them have leaves on them that I really need to get rid of. That one's got way too many leaves on it. They say leave a few leaves, but not very many. You want the plant to be forced pretty much into dormancy. So what they said do was to dig them up, because they were in the soil in the garden. Dig them up, rinse all the roots off. One guy sprayed his with peroxide to kill any infestation of bugs or eggs or whatever on the root system. Another guy used neem oil, but these folks are bringing them in their house. Mine are going to stay in my barn, but just a great way to save your peppers for next year. If you got a pepper plant or two that you just really love, they really produce for you. You just really love the size of the peppers, the flavor of the peppers, and you wish you had that every year because this is, that's just a particularly nice pepper plant. Well, this is a great way to keep that pepper plant for next year and maybe even several years after that. I don't know how long they'll live. I'm going to have one as a control group, kind of. I'm going to leave probably this one here. It's jalapenos. I'm going to leave it in the earth box and just like it is. Pruned heavily, take more leaves off of it where there's just maybe 2 or 3 leaves per plant. I mean, really radically get the leaves off too. And the rest of them I'm probably going to pot up into individual plants, and then when spring comes, just put the plants back in the earth boxes. But if you've got a plant that you really like, the taste, everything is good, then you might want to try to save it. And I should have done this video a couple of days ago because we got the cold front coming through. What everybody is doing and what I did as a general rule was, as it came up out of the main stem, main stalk, trunk, when it came up and did a fork, then I just cut it off above the fork. And I did that on most all of these. Just right at the fork is where it's come up. Now, a lot of them had a lot of stems coming up, and I don't know whether to trim these bottom stems up or just leave the tall one. But, at a fork, just trim it off. And it will start budding next year. It will start budding right here, and it'll start budding here and here. And you'll just have another big bush of peppers, and it's supposed to work absolutely great. So that's what we're doing. I've already picked all these off. These were loaded with peppers. And I picked about a half a bushel running over. Just beautiful peppers. I'm probably going to pickle those tomorrow. Either pickle them or freeze them or something. I know I'm going to pickle at least 1 load, maybe 2. And then I'm going to use the Mrs. Wages. I ran out of cucumbers on my last batch that I did in the spring or in the summer, and I just substituted a bunch of peppers. And I opened one up the other day just to see just to see if they were good. You know, how a pepper is pickled with dill. You know, like you would a pickle. They're excellent. They're really, really good. I don't think I put pickle crisp in them. I need to do that this time, but because they were just, you know, a little soft. But man, they were really good. So that's what I'm going to do, is pickle them with Mrs. Wages. And if you can, try to save your peppers for next year. It could get you a huge head start on the season next year, to go outside with some 2-foot tall pepper plants that have bushed out and starting to bloom and ready to go, and everybody else is got little old 2-inch seedlings out in the garage. And that's what I'm going to try, and I'll bring you along for the journey. But my plan is to go ahead and spray these. I've already mixed up some neem oil, so I'll spray the roots of these with some neem oil. And we'll pot them up, and I'll show you when I get them all potted up. I just want to try to get this up tonight, where maybe you could do something about your peppers if you really, really wanted to. All right, I've talked too much. We're gone.